Welcome, listeners, to another My Mind MashUps deep dive, where we unravel mysteries, spark curiosity, and make sense of complex ideas together. Today, we are getting into a really critical exercise. It's about efficiency, it's about peace. We are diving deep into the art of decluttering.
Such a huge topic.
It is, and our goal here is to uncover some truly actionable steps that can lead to a less stressful, more productive, and honestly, a more enjoyable life. So I want you to do something with me right now, a quick thought experiment. Just visualize the feeling of walking into a room that is completely overwhelmed.
Piles everywhere.
Piles everywhere, you're stressed, you're late, and you can't find that one thing you desperately need. Now, just flip that image. Imagine walking into a clean, controlled, peaceful space. Where everything has a purpose, everything has a home. That feeling, that physical release of tension, that's the transformation we're talking about today.
And that feeling of release, that's central to our mission here. What we really want to get across is that decluttering. Well, it's not just cleaning.
No.
It's a whole process. A holistic overhaul, really. It impacts your physical efficiency, your mental bandwidth, and your emotional health. We want to give you the psychological why behind the practical how.
And our deep dive is built on a really diverse stack of sources. We're looking at everything from, the philosophical approach of Zen Habits to clinical insights from Harvard Medical School, and then the everyday practical guides like Simple Gold Life.
So we're ready to get into it.
We are. We're ready to spark some curiosity and expand your understanding of what true organization really is.
And we really want to challenge the assumption that organization is just, an aesthetic choice. It's not. It's a functional necessity for modern life.
And before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy content that makes you think. Okay, so let's unpack the psychological core here. We all know physical clutter feels bad, but why? Why does the state of our room, our desk, matter so much to our brains? Why does it trigger that feeling of being overwhelmed, stressed, and anxious?
It's all rooted in our cognitive function. Sources like Simple Gold Life, they really emphasize studies showing that physical clutter actively gets in the way of mental clarity.
Okay, so it's a direct interference.
It is. Think of your physical environment as like your brain's external hard drive or its desktop. If that desktop is just covered in files and random icons, your whole system slows down.
So the chaos isn't just visual. You're saying it's actually robbing us of cognitive bandwidth.
It is, absolutely.
For more important tasks.
Exactly. When your eyes are constantly taking in disorder, your brain is sort of always on high alert, trying to process all these competing things. It leads to this persistent, low-grade anxiety.
That makes so much sense. We lose energy just deciding where to look or what to deal with first.
Right. So if that's the case, then reversing the process decluttering, it must restore that function.
And that's the key insight, right?
That's it. Decluttering fosters this profound sense of peace because it gives you back a sense of control. You're actively commanding your environment.
You're making the decisions.
You're deciding what stays, what goes. And that intentionality, it translates directly into feeling more in control of your daily life. It's incredibly empowering.
I thought it was fascinating that this applies to more than just physical things. The research from the Harvard Medical School sources, it suggests that things like journaling can reduce what they call mental clutter.
Yes, and that just reinforces the whole idea. You need a tidy external space and a system for processing your internal thoughts to really get that full mental clarity. It's all one big system.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth a bit. Beyond the mental piece, what are some of the really tangible day-to-day benefits we get from this?
Well, a lot of the practical guides, like from Zen Habits, they focus on the immediate return. It's simple. Less stuff means less to clean.
Less to organize.
Less to organize, and importantly, less money wasted replacing things you know you have but just can't find.
And the time savings alone have to be massive. I mean, how many minutes or even hours do we all waste every week just looking for the remote? Or the keys? Or that one bill you needed to pay?
It's a huge efficiency drain that we just don't account for. If you save, say, just 5 minutes a day not looking for things, that's almost half an hour a week you've just reclaimed.
Wow. Okay, so before we get into the solutions, maybe we should pause. Let's get people to honestly assess where they're starting from. The Book Scatter blog identified some pretty common clutter traps.
Yeah, and it's so important to just face it without judgment. Think about your space. Are your closets overflowing?
Can't close the door properly?
That's right. Has your garage become a no-go zone for anything but storage? Are you constantly rebuying things like tape or batteries because you can't find the ones you already own?
If that's hitting home for you, just remember, recognizing it. That's the most important first step. Being honest about the clutter crisis is the foundation for everything else. Okay, so recognizing the problem is maybe the hard part, the painful part. How do we shift from that to actually finding the motivation to tackle it? Because let's be honest, staring at a chaotic room it's paralyzing.
It is. And that's where visualization and the psychology of reward come in. We saw this in sources like Modern Mess. Don't focus on the mountain of work.
Focus on the end result.
Exactly. Focus intensely on the reward. Visualize that moment of success. Finding the exact shirt you wanted to wear instantly. Or walking into a living room that genuinely feels like a sanctuary.
So you're reframing the chore as a means to an end. And the end is that feeling of peace, not just a clean room.
Absolutely. And you can also leverage the brain's love for achievement. Gamify it. Set many challenges for yourself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and give yourself a reward that doesn't create more clutter, like a small treat or just 30 minutes of guilt-free reading time. It turns it from a dreaded task into more of an engaging challenge.
That taps right into our brain chemistry, doesn't it? We're using the reward system to create these positive feedback loops.
Yes, so you start to associate that good feeling of achievement with the act of decluttering itself. It's all about making the process sustainable, not just relying on willpower.
And if this is resonating with you, now is a great time to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive. We're really trying to challenge assumptions about what organization looks like. All right, motivation is there, the vision is clear. Now for the nuts and bolts, the actionable how. According to all our sources, when you're facing a huge task, what's the single most important rule for just getting started?
It's unanimous. Start small. You have to start small to avoid that cognitive overwhelm.
So don't promise yourself you'll do the whole house in a weekend.
Never. Break it down into the smallest possible wins. One drawer, one shelf, even just the top of one table.
And why is that so critical?
Because small wins build confidence. Each little completed task gives you a burst of that positive reward we just talked about, and that builds momentum. If you start with the entire basement, you're almost guaranteed to burn out in an hour.
And then you associate the whole thing with frustration.
Right. Small wins lead to big victories.
I really love the proactive rules from Zen Habits. They're about preventing clutter, not just curing it. Let's talk about their 1 in, 2 out rule.
This is a great maintenance strategy. It dictates that for every new thing you bring into your home, you have to remove 2 existing things.
Wow. That forces you to be so intentional.
It does. It makes you really weigh the value of a new purchase against the effort of keeping 3 fewer things. It turns shopping into a conscious choice, not just a habit.
What about impulse buys?
For that, they have the 30-day list. If you see something non-essential you want to buy, you just write it down on a list and wait 30 days.
And what does waiting do psychologically?
It gets you past that initial dopamine hit of buying something new. That 30-day cooling off period lets your rational brain take over. And most of the time, you find that after a month, the item just doesn't seem that important anymore.
And of course, for the stuff you already have, the classic system still works. Keep, toss, donate.
It's simple, it's effective, and it forces a decision.
Okay, we've talked a lot about physical space, but let's pivot back to that concept you mentioned earlier, mental clutter. According to sources like Balance Through Simplicity, what exactly is that?
Mental clutter is just the sheer volume of non-physical stuff overwhelming our brains. The constant stream of emails, calendar alerts, unfinished to-do lists, big decisions.
That's cognitive overload.
It's cognitive overload and decision fatigue, yeah. It's caused by a lack of mental prioritization.
So the solution isn't to get better at juggling more things.
No, not at all. It's about systematically dropping the things that don't matter. It's about creating space, just like on a shelf, by prioritizing what serves you and letting go of the trivial commitments that drain your energy.
So what are some concrete strategies for that? What do guides like Simple Gold Life and Balance Through Simplicity say?
The first one is simple, but it's so profound. Journaling. It's not just writing down your feelings. It's a way to download all those swirling anxieties onto paper.
You're externalizing them.
Exactly. You're externalizing them so you can see them clearly and organize them. You turn this abstract worry into a manageable list.
What about mindfulness?
Meditation is incredibly effective. Simple Gold Life suggests starting really small, even just 5 minutes a day, just focusing on your breath. That practice trains your brain to notice distractions and then just let them go.
And the third strategy actually involves getting out of the house.
Yes, spending time in nature. And this isn't just, feel-good advice. There are studies that show being in natural environments physically calms your nervous system, reduces stress hormones.
Yeah.
It's a real biological effect.
And it all connects back. Calming your physical space, connecting with nature, it all helps quiet the mind.
It's all part of the same system.
Now, since decluttering is a process, we're all going to make mistakes. What are the common pitfalls we should look out for?
The first big one, according to the 10 biggest mistakes source, is buying storage solutions before you've actually decluttered.
Oh, that's a classic trap. You see a nice-looking bin and think it's the solution.
Right. But all you're doing is organizing your existing mess.
Yeah.
It actually makes it harder to see what needs to go. The rule is, assess what you're keeping, get rid of the rest, then contain what's left.
Okay, what's mistake number 2?
This one is emotionally heavy, holding on to gifts out of guilt.
That's a tough one. It feels wrong to get rid of something someone gave you with love.
It is tough,
Yeah.
but you have to reframe it. The gift served its purpose the moment it was given. It was a symbol of love. Keeping the object out of guilt doesn't honor the giver. It just adds stress to your life now.
Appreciate the sentiment. Release the object.
Precisely. Then there's the just-in-case trap. We save things for some highly improbable future.
The third mistake, yes.
You have to challenge that thought.
Oh.
Ask yourself, if I haven't used this in a year and I suddenly needed it, could I borrow it? Could I rent it? Could I buy another one easily? That helps cut through the hoarding instinct.
And the final mistake, the big one, the one that causes the most arguments.
It's decluttering other people's stuff.
Don't do it.
Just don't. The source material was very clear on this. It said, want to start an argument or fast-track your frustration? This miscalculation will get you there fast. You have to respect boundaries. Your journey can inspire them, but the decision is theirs alone.
That's a powerful reminder. Okay, let's talk about tools to stay focused. Michelle O'Malley's video had a really simple but effective technique.
The timer method. It's brilliant. You set a timer for, say, 15 or 30 minutes. You focus intensely on one small area for that burst of time. And when the timer goes off, you stop.
You just stop, regardless of where you are.
Yes. And that's revolutionary because it removes the pressure to finish. It turns this marathon into a series of manageable sprints. It gives you permission to stop and ensures you don't burn out.
But all of these techniques, they're part of a bigger shift, right? A
Yeah.
long-term philosophy. The everyday farmhouse sources call it mindful consumption.
And that's the real transformation. It's moving beyond just managing the mess to preventing it from happening in the first place.
So it's a sheet away from more is better.
It is. It's about being fundamentally intentional with what you allow to cross your threshold. Valuing experiences and relationships over possessions. Decluttering is the cleanup. Mindful consumption is the maintenance plan for life.
Which brings us to a final, really provocative concept, one that redefines this whole thing: Swedish death cleaning, or dust deadening.
It sounds so morbid, I know, but it's actually one of the most powerful mindset shifts we came across, especially in Michelle O'Malley's discussion. The idea is to declutter not just for you, but as a profound act of love for your family.
Okay, explain that.
Instead of seeing it as your personal burden, you see it as intentionally simplifying your life now, so you don't leave a massive, emotionally draining task for your loved ones after you're gone.
Wow, that completely reframes the entire process.
It does. It encourages you to live intentionally now, to focus on your legacy and your relationships, not on accumulating things that will just become a burden for the people you love. It turns simplification into a deeply caring act.
This deep dive really does reinforce that decluttering. It's not a one-time thing. It's a continuous journey. It's about celebrating progress, not some impossible idea of perfection.
And remembering that deep connection between your physical space and your mental state. When you address both, you set yourself up for real, sustained peace.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final question to think about today. What's one area of your life? It could be physical, digital, even your commitments, that would bring you the most relief if it were simplified.
And what's one small 15-minute step you could take today to just start that process?
Think about that.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective could shape our next deep dive.
And like, comment, and subscribe to hear more My Mind Mashups deep dives. You can find My Mind Mashups everywhere you listen: Amazon Music, Audible, Facebook, Pocket Casts, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, happy decluttering.